Are you ready to ace your learner's license test? Today we will be going through 20 real test questions that will be found in the road sign section of your test. So before we look at the question, let's look at the diagram on the right hand side. In the diagram, you can see the interior of a vehicle, and this is basically what the driver will see. We can see a road that follows straight ahead, and we can see a road sign towards the left hand side of the road. Now this is actually a stop sign, and everyone that is watching this video should know exactly what a stop sign is. Question 1. What does the sign instruct you to do? Is it option A, stop? Is it option B, slow down? Or is it option C, speed up? Now automatically when you see a stop sign, you should know that your vehicle has to come to a complete stop. Therefore, the correct answer here would be option A. Now in this diagram, you can see a circular shaped sign that has a red border and a red line going through. We can see a black object within that road sign. Now some people may not be able to decipher what this is. This is actually a horn, right? So when they're talking about a horn, you have to know that they are referring to your hooter. So if you see a red line going through a sign that has a horn, they are instructing you to not use your hooter, right? So question 2, what does the sign forbid you from doing? Is it option A, revving your vehicle? Is it option B, using your radio? Or is it option C, using your hooter? Now the only correct option here would be option C. This sign will forbid you from using your hooter. In this diagram, you can see a combined sign. So there is a circular shape on top, and below that there is a rectangular shaped sign. Now within the circle portion, we can see that there is a motor vehicle that has a red line going through it. And in the rectangle section, we can see it says 6:30 a.m. to 9 a.m. Now what does this sign mean? This sign will actually forbid motor vehicles from driving in this area between 6:30 a.m. to 9 a.m. So you would have to look for that time period in your answer. So question 3, what does the sign forbid you from doing? Is it option A, driving a black vehicle? Is it option B, driving your vehicle here between 6:30 a.m. to 9 a.m.? Or is it option C, parking your vehicle in this area? Now because only option B will give you the timestamps between 6:30 to 9 a.m., that will be your correct answer. In this diagram, you can see a rectangular shaped sign with a red background, white border, and a white arrow that is pointing towards the left hand side. So question 4, what does the sign tell you? Is it option A, there is a one-way roadway ahead? Is it option B, you must turn right? Or is it option C, only ambulances can turn left? Now with option C, the sign doesn't specifically say ambulances can turn left, therefore that cannot be your answer. With option B, it says you must turn right. However, this road sign is pointing towards the left hand side, so that cannot be correct as well. The only correct option here can be option A. Now in this diagram, you can see the sign is to the right hand side of the road, and it is a circular shaped sign with a white border, blue background, and a white arrow. Now the arrow is pointing towards the left hand side. So question 5, what does the sign indicate? Is it option A, there is a stop street ahead? Is it option B, you must keep right? Or is it option C, you must keep left? Now since the arrow is pointing towards the left hand side, you have to keep left. So option C would be your correct answer. Question 6, which type of vehicles are allowed on this road? Now let's look at our road sign. It is back towards the left hand side of the road. Now we can see again a blue background, a white border, and there is a motor vehicle in that sign. Now this icon of the vehicle is not specifically talking about sedans, and it is not specifically relating to hatchbacks. It is just motor vehicles. So question 6, which type of vehicles are allowed on this road? Is it option A, motor vehicles? Is it option B, sedans? Or is it option C, hatchbacks? The correct answer here would be option A, motor vehicles. Now within this diagram, we can see there are two things to look out for. First is the road sign. We can see it is in a triangular shaped sign. And there is a dip and a water formation within that sign. Now in the diagram on the road ahead, you can see there's a lot of water on the road. So what is the sign warning you of? Is it option A, sand dunes ahead? Is it option B, the beach ahead? Or is it option C, a dip in the road that is flooded? The correct answer would be option C, there is a dip in the road ahead that is flooded. Now again in this diagram, you can see the icon of a motor vehicle, right? And that is within a circular shaped sign with a red border and a red line going through. And this has a white background. So question 8, what does this sign mean? Is it option A, motor vehicles are prohibited beyond this point? Is it option B, you cannot park in this area? Or is it option C, both A and B? Now the correct option here would be option A, only motor vehicles are prohibited beyond this point. Now within this diagram, we can see a circular shaped sign with a red border. However, we can see three unique icons within the sign. We can see 2T. We can then see another arrow that is pointing towards the axle, right? That other long icon there is known as an axle. So question 9, what does this sign mean? Is it option A, only 2 vehicles are allowed? Is it option B, bikes are prohibited in this area? Or is it option C, vehicles with an axle mass of more than 2 tons are prohibited? Now this is referring to your axle mass, right? So if your vehicle has an axle mass of more than 2 tons, you are not allowed to go ahead, right? You're not allowed to go past this sign. So option C would be our correct answer. Question 10, what does this sign mean? Now let's look at this sign, right? This is a diamond shaped sign. It has a red background, it has a white border, and it has a white icon of a pedestrian. So question 10, what does the sign mean? Is it option A, speed up? Is it option B, all pedestrians have right of way? Or is it option C, don't stop your vehicle for pedestrians waiting to cross? Now the correct answer here would be option B. Whenever you see the sign, pedestrians have the right of way. So that means that if you are driving right and you see pedestrians that are waiting to cross, you have to stop your vehicle and let them cross as they have the right of way. Question 11. Here in this diagram, you see the minimum speed limit. How do we know that it is a minimum speed limit sign? We can see it has a blue background, a white border. It is in the shape of a circle, and the speed indicated within the sign is written in white. So this question asks, what does the sign mean? Is it option A, only 50 cars are allowed here? Is it option B, the maximum speed limit is 50 kilometers an hour? Or is it option C, the minimum speed limit is 50 kilometers an hour? Now the correct answer here would be minimum speed limit is 50 kilometers an hour. Now if the sign had a red border, a white background, and the speed limit was written in black, then that would actually be the maximum speed limit, not the minimum speed limit. Question 12, what does this sign mean? Now we can see that this sign is again a circular shaped sign. There is a blue background, a white border, and there is an icon of a bicycle, right? Another word they could use for bicycle is a pedal cycle. So just keep that at the back of your mind. If you see either or, then you know what it is. So what does the sign mean? Is it option A, only heavy motor vehicles are allowed here? Is it option B, only motorbikes are allowed here? Or is it option C, only bicycles may ride here? Now, since this is an icon of a bicycle, the only correct option that is given to us is option C, only bicycles may ride here. Now we can see another circular shaped sign, but within the sign we can see there are 2 trucks, and there's a red line going through only one of those 2 trucks. Question 13. What does the sign prohibit truck drivers from doing? Is it option A, overtaking? Is it option B, racing? Or is it option C, stopping? Now the correct answer here would be overtaking. This sign will prohibit truck drivers from overtaking. Now within this diagram, you can see a circular shaped sign towards the left hand side of the road, and there's a capital letter S with a red line going through. Again, this has a red border and a white background. So what does this sign mean, right? What is the zone that you are entering? Is it option A, a no speeding zone? Is it option B, a no stopping zone? Or is it option C, a no smoking zone? The correct answer here would be option B. This is a no stopping zone. So if you see the sign, then you are not allowed to stop. Question 15. Which of the following vehicles are prohibited in this area? Now let's look at that road sign, right? Again, it is a circular shaped sign with a red border and there's a red line going through. Now this is actually the rear view of a truck. However, within that icon there is a yellow diamond. That diamond will refer to vehicles that are carrying hazardous substances, right? So question 15, which of the following vehicles are prohibited in this area? Is it option A, trucks carrying diamonds? Is it option B, trucks carrying juice? Or is it option C, vehicles carrying hazardous substances? Now the correct answer here would be option C. This road sign will prohibit vehicles that are carrying hazardous substances. In this diagram, we can see a triangular shaped sign. We can see there's a motor vehicle, a light motor vehicle that is crashing into a heavy motor vehicle that is going down a slope. So what does the sign mean? Is it option A, be aware of slow moving heavy vehicles ahead? Is it option B, no trucks are allowed ahead? Or is it option C, you must stop ahead? Now the correct answer here would be option A. You have to beware of slow moving heavy vehicles ahead. We see another triangular shaped sign. Now remember, triangular shaped signs are warning signs. And within this warning sign, we can see there's a tunnel ahead. So what does the sign warn you of? Is it option A, it warns you of a tunnel ahead? Is it option B, it warns you of a car park ahead? Or is it option C, it warns you of cars overtaking ahead? The correct option here would be option A. Question 18. What does this sign mean? Now again, we can see a combined sign, right? There's a maximum speed limit. That is the circular portion of the sign. And below that, we can see a rectangular shaped sign. And within that, we can see there are 2 stars and a moon. Now that is referring to the night time, right? So question 18, what does this sign mean? Is it option A, you must drive at night? Is it option B, you are not allowed to drive below 100 kilometers an hour? Or is it option C, you are not allowed to drive over 100 kilometers an hour at night? Now, because that is a maximum speed limit, you are not allowed to drive over that. And the only option that is given to us which speaks about a maximum speed limit is option C. So whenever you see the sign, you cannot drive over 100 kilometers an hour at night. Question 19. What does the sign prohibit? Now this is a circular shaped sign with a red line going through and a red border. And it contains the capital letter A and a capital letter V. Now that A and V will stand for abnormal vehicles. So does the sign prohibit option A, abnormal vehicles, option B, fast vehicles, or option C, light motor vehicles? The correct answer here would be option A, abnormal vehicles. Question 20. What does this sign prohibit? Now this again is a circular shaped sign with a red border, white background, and a red line going through. We can see that that icon of that arrow that's going forward and then makes a U-turn, right? This entire sign will prohibit U-turns. So is option A, the sign prohibits spinning? Is it option B, the sign will prohibit U-turns? Or is it option C, the sign will prohibit right turns? The correct answer here would be option B, the sign will prohibit U-turns. I want to thank you guys so much for watching, especially if you made it this far to the end of the video. It shows that you are determined to pass that test by all means. If you enjoyed this video, if you found that it was useful for you, if you've learned new things, then please don't forget to give it a like. And if you want more videos like these, then please subscribe, as this gives me an indication that these videos are useful and that I should keep pumping out more. To those that are writing their learner's license test soon, I want to wish you all the best. Trust in your preparation and you will do amazing. All the best. God bless. Goodbye.